Hey guys, Zom here. It's been a while since I released the previous version of C64 Dreams. Over a year now, in fact. But I wanted to put out a quick video because I'm happy to announce that the next release, version 0.60, is now available. A lot of time and energy went into this update, as always, and I'm excited for people to be able to get their hands on it and check it out. This isn't going to be an exhaustive video like the last one. I would recommend checking out the original video if you're interested in knowing more about the project. This is just going to be a quick overview of some of the new content in the update. First up, we've got 500 new games, bringing the total to 3,500 games. Actually, it's 506 new games to be more accurate. I found 6 games while working on the update that were actually duplicates, where they were the same game but under a different regional title, like Terra Mex and Cosmic Relief, for example. So after those were removed, 506 games were added to bring the total to 3,500. There's also 44 new magazine issues, 10 new demo scene demos, 6 new disc mags, and 40 new SID tracks, bringing the total item count to 4,000 in this update. Speaking of SID tracks, one of the new features this go-round was that I added background music in Launchbox for each game wherever possible. Now when you click on a box in Launchbox, music from the game will play if I've managed to track down the SID track for it. Not every game has music, of course, like many text adventures, for example, so this doesn't apply to every game, but they're included for 2,368 games, so a little over 2/3 of them have music. Another new feature is that I've created playlists for RPGs and shmups, so that you can see all of those in one place. I'll continue to add more such playlists as the project progresses. Technically, you can create additional ones now based on existing genre tags, but the ones for text adventures, RPGs, and shmups, I've gone through by hand and verified that the correct games have been included and excluded where appropriate through metadata cleanup. Metadata cleanup was in fact a pretty significant portion of the work for this update, linking games to the Launchbox Games database where possible for games that didn't have entries there previously, adding release date years wherever possible, and some genre tag cleaning as mentioned previously for the purposes of playlist accuracy. I know this probably isn't a particularly sexy addition, but it's an important one that will be continually worked on as the project progresses. I also spent a lot of time on media improvements this go-round. Every single 3D box has been remade for this update, for example. Previously, what I had was a combination of about 2,000 of them that I had created to mimic the style of a set created by a user on the Launchbox forums, but at a higher resolution. The other 1,000 or so he had created. One of the things that always bothered me about those was that they had the logo for the C64 on them, as in the emulation device that was released a couple years ago. This is a really cool project, but one with which C64 Dreams has no association, so it always kind of annoyed my OCD proclivities. So I went back through and remade every single one of them to remove that, and I ended up improving a lot of the covers in the process. I also took some time to further improve screenshots in the collection. This is something that I've been working on in previous updates, but I spent quite a bit of time on it this go-round. I color and contrast corrected screenshots from GameBase 64 and upscaled them by 4x, with nearest neighbor scaling so that they're significantly easier to see now. This didn't have any significant impact on file size either. You're talking about 100 or so meg for literally thousands of screenshots. Well worth it in my view. I've also added hundreds of new manuals in this update, as well as upgraded many old ones. Currently it's sitting at 1,930 manuals included, which is 55% of the collection. I want to give a huge shout out to Smiling Spectre of the Exodos project for helping me track down many of the manuals for this update. That was a huge help, so thanks. Special mention should also be given to the Ultimate Tape Archive team for releasing version 4.0 of their collection a few months ago. This is my first and favorite source for manual materials, and they're doing fantastic work over there. One of the fun new features in version 0.60 is mega bezel options. People who have followed my time in the emulation scene for any length of time probably know that I'm a big shader enthusiast, and I've released various shader packs for RetroArch over the years. The mega bezel preset chain by Hyperspace Madness and Guest have proven to be a really fun canvas to work with in that regard. So I spent quite a bit of time working on a preset specifically for use with C64 Dreams. I'm really happy with the results, and I'd really recommend you check it out if you have a decent video card and CPU. You can access it via the new options that are in the configurator. You'll find them in the shader section under the HSM Mega Bezel category. Simply double-click Enabled and you're set. You'll also find some additional screen options here, as well as different optional backgrounds. These are interchangeable in the combination of your choosing. The screen option determines the appearance of the screen itself, and the background determines the bezel that it's combined with. If you're using 1080p or 1440p, you can use the screen options that say 1080p. If you're using 4K, you'll want to use one of the 4K options. You'll also notice that there are some options here for screens and backgrounds by Dynamic, used with his permission, that you may want to check out. He does really good work, and I recommend checking his stuff out if you're interested in this kind of thing. I'll have a link for that in the description. Keep in mind that these Mega Bezel presets are fairly hardware intensive, so if you have aging hardware that performs poorly with this, you can just disable it and go back to the easy mode or color correction only shader, which should perform well on basically anything. There are a ton of fixes, updated game versions, etc. in this update as well, but I won't go over all those here as that would turn into another hour-long video. As usual, there will be the complete changelog available on my site, along with download links for version 0.60. The link for that is in the description. Hopefully this gets you excited to check it out for yourself. I want to thank all the people that helped contribute to this update, whether that be with game suggestions, testing, scripting help, media procurement, or any other contributions large or small. I also really appreciate all the overwhelmingly positive feedback I've received from the community following the release of version 0.45. Thank you for all the kind words and encouragement, and I'm excited to continually improve this project in the years to come. So with that, have fun, and until next time.